Hello students, welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Hello students, welcome back to English class with teacher Fina. For today's lesson, we are going to focus on the new unit, Unit 3, while weather on reading skill. Let's get started. These are the lesson objectives for today's lesson. By the end of the lesson, students should be able to read the news report again and put the events in order. We will learn two techniques of reading, which are skimming and scanning. Okay, second one. Students should be able to fill in the blanks with the correct answers based on the news report given. You will have to answer a few questions based on the same news report. Okay, the last one. Students should be able to read the flyer and choose suitable words from the text for each answer. You will have to fill in the empty boxes with the correct answers from the flyer. Okay, these two exercises will be answered on Google Form. Okay, let's look at these pictures below. Can you guess the first picture? Earthquake. Okay, very good. How about the second picture? Flood. Okay, nice. Okay, look at the last picture. Do you know what this is? It is a landslide. Okay, these are the examples of natural disasters. What do you know about natural disasters? A natural disaster can be defined as a significant adverse event resulting from the Earth's natural processes. Okay, natural disasters often have severe consequences for many people and also for animals and plants. It usually also destroys buildings and thus leads to a loss of people's home. Okay, due to the global warming issue, natural disasters will become more common in the future. Okay. Next question. Do these natural disasters ever happen in Malaysia? Yes. Flooding is the most serious natural disaster in Malaysia. Aside from flooding, the country also experienced some man-made disasters, primarily landslides, which cause significant property damage and loss of life. How did you feel when it was happening? You feel scared and shocked, right? Okay, natural disasters such as hurricanes can have a huge impact on those who survive them. People usually have a strong emotional reaction to this situation. Common responses immediately following the event are denial and shock. Okay, feeling overwhelmed or numb is also common. In the weeks or months following the disaster, people may begin to have varied reaction. Okay, what to do when an earthquake happens? What should we do? We should stay calm. Okay, if you are indoors, stay inside. If you are outside, stay outside. Okay. How about the thing we shouldn't do if an earthquake happens? We shouldn't stand next to a window. We should avoid standing near windows, mirrors, or under lighting fixtures during an earthquake. Okay, because the shaking can cause broken glass that could lead to serious injuries. Okay, so now I'm going to read a news report about an earthquake that happened in Sabah. Later on, you will read it with your friends. Okay? Kota Kinabalu at 7:15 a.m. on 5th June 2015, a powerful 6.0 magnitude earthquake rocked Ranau, Sabah. The quake lasted 30 seconds, but it caused massive destruction. One of the perks of Mount Kinabalu, Donkey's Ears, was broken off. There was massive destruction to the buildings too around the mountain. It was a sad day. What was more disheartening was the loss of 18 lives. Among them were students, mountain guides, teachers, and tourists. For many, the trek up Mount Kinabalu is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It is a personal challenge, but for the mountain guides, it is their life. It is no easy task. They put the interests and safety of the climbers before their own lives. Trekking up the mountain when the trail is intact is already a difficult task. This is made worse when the trails are wiped away by the quake. On that fateful day, it was more difficult. A group of local Sabahan guides set off in the dark to the affected areas. They cleared the trails to reach the injured and those stranded at the peak. Some of these unsung heroes carried the injured on their backs. They had to tread carefully on the damaged trail to get them to safety. What they had done was praiseworthy. They did their best for the victims, irrespective of their race or religion. Okay, do you have any unfamiliar words from the news report? Okay, let me ask you. What does stranded mean? Meaning that you are unable to live somewhere because of a problem, okay, such as not having any transport or money. In other words, if you are stuck somewhere with no way of getting anywhere else, you are stranded. Okay, how about the meaning of trek? It means walking in a specified way. Okay, the local Sabahan guides had to walk in a specified way on the damaged trail to ensure the victims' safety. Okay, students, so now it's your turn to read the news report with your friends. Okay, before we further discuss the details of the news report, have you ever heard of skimming and scanning reading techniques? We can save a lot of time when using these speed reading techniques, no matter what kind of reading materials we are approaching. Although these two techniques of reading have always been being practiced by many people, some still find it quite difficult to tell them apart. So, what are those kinds of techniques? There are many differences between skimming and scanning. We will find them out together. Okay, what is skimming? Skimming is a speed reading technique used whenever we need to get the entire main idea. So we use skimming when we want to read something quickly to get a general idea. Okay, when we skim a text, we are not after the details or examples given, but rather we are looking at what the whole text is all about. Skimming is especially helpful whenever we need to read a long text in a short period of time. For instance, if you want to read an interesting article in the newspaper, you do not have enough time to read more than one article. So you will skim through most of the article to decide exactly which article you want to read. Okay, that is skimming. Okay, how to skim? Okay, you can skim by reading the table of contents, reading the opening and closing sentences of the paragraphs, reading headings and subheadings, and looking at any illustrations or graphic features. Scanning is another speed reading technique to be used when you want to find specific information quickly. So it is used when you want to read something quickly to find a specific piece of information. Okay, in scanning, you have a question in your mind, and when you read a passage only to find the answer, ignoring unrelated information. Okay. An excellent example of scanning text is whenever we need to look up the meaning of a word in the dictionary. Okay, we do not have to go through the other words in the text to locate the definition of specific words. Okay, how to scan? You can scan by looking for keywords related to your topic, looking for bold prints and italics, looking for words in larger fonts, and looking through bulleted information and sidebars. The differences between skimming and scanning are crystal clear. In simpler words, skimming helps you to tell what the general information is, while scanning helps you position a particular piece of information. In fact, you have to understand your purposes of reading in order to apply a proper technique. You can skim to find out what it is all about. Headings and pictures can help you to do this. Okay? To skim, prepare yourself to move rapidly through the pages. You will not read every word. You will pay special attention to typographical cues, headings, boldface, and italic type, indenting, bulleted, and numbered lists. Okay, you will be alert for keywords and phrases, the names of people and places, dates, nouns, and unfamiliar words. Or you can scan to look for important information. Okay, look for keywords and numbers help you to do this. Okay, when scanning a text, our eyes need to move quickly across the paragraphs. You need to use your index fingers to guide you in looking for specific information on the page. In most cases, especially when studying, okay, scanning the text first is necessary before getting the text essential details. You can also highlight this information so that you can quickly go back to it later on. Okay, for the class activity, you need to read the news report again and put the events in order using flow map. When you open the Jamboard link, you will see something like this. Here, to make it easier for you, I've already provided you with 4 hints of the news. You may rearrange them in the right sequence by reading the news report again. We will discuss the answers together. Here are the right sequence of the flow map of the news report. Okay, an earthquake happened in Sabah. Buildings around the mountain were destructed from the accident. Mountain guides helped the climbers to save the people who injured and stranded. Okay, last one. A group of local Sabahan rescued the people to get them to safety. Okay, for class exercise 1, you need to fill in the blanks with the correct answers based on the news report given on Google Form. Okay, using the same news report, you will have to answer a few questions. We will discuss the answers together. Fill in the blanks with the correct answers based on the news report given. Let's discuss the answers together. Okay, number 1. The massive earthquake in Ranau resulted in massive destruction and loss of lives. You may find the answer on the second line of the first paragraph. It was mentioned that the quake lasted 30 seconds, but it caused massive destruction. Okay, moving on to number 2. 18 people died in the earthquake. Where did you find the answer? On the fourth line of first paragraph. It was more disheartening was the loss of 18 lives. Okay, number 3. The tracking was difficult after the quake because the trails were wiped away. How do you know it was wiped away? The last line of the second paragraph mentioned that this is made worse when the trails are wiped away by the quake. Okay, number 4. The mountain guides cleared the trail before they could reach out the injured. Number 5. Local Sabahan guides trekked up the mountains to save the injured and those stranded at peak. These answers can be found on the second line of the last paragraph. They cleared the trails to reach the injured and those stranded on the peak. Okay, number 6. Some of the mountain guides carried the injured on their backs as they were not able to walk. The third line of the last paragraph mentioned that the mountain guides carried the injured on their backs. Number 7. What the mountain guides had done were selfless and praiseworthy. The last question, number 8. Race and religion did not matter during the rescue. It was mentioned that they did their best for the victims, irrespective of their race and religion. For class exercise 2, you need to read the flyer below and choose suitable words from the text for each answer. You need to write your answers in the space provided on Google Form. Okay, we will discuss the answers together. Read the flyer below and choose suitable words from the text for each answer. Write your answer in the space provided. Okay, number 1, do this before checks on others. Okay, so number 1, the answer will be check yourself. It was mentioned that we need to check ourselves and then others. Okay, number 2, this is where you should stay away when the shaking stops. The answer is damaged buildings. It was mentioned that we need to stay out of damaged buildings because it may be destroyed by aftershocks following the main quake. Okay, next question. Only return home if these people in charge say it is safe. The answer is authorities. It was mentioned that when we were away from home, only return when authorities say it is safe. Okay, number 4, be alert for and observe these. The answer is official warnings. It was mentioned that we need to be alert for and observe official warnings when we return home. Okay, question 5 and 6. Okay, what are the things that we need to check with extreme caution after we return home? Damage outside and damage inside. It was mentioned that when we return home, we need to check the damage outside our home. Then if the structure appears safe to enter, we then check the damage inside. Okay, question 7 and 8. What are the things we need to do if we smell or hear a blowing or hissing noise of leak gas? We need to open a window and get everyone out quickly. It was mentioned that if we return home, we need to check gas leaks. And if we smell gas or hear a blowing or hissing noise, we need to open a window and get everyone out quickly. Okay, number 9, the last question. Do this when you see sparks or broken frayed wires. We need to turn off the electricity of the main fuse box. It was mentioned that when we return our home, we should look for damage to the electric system, and if we see sparks or broken frayed wires, we should turn off the electricity at the main fuse box. We are now towards the end of our lesson. Before we end, can you tell me what we have learned today? We learned about natural disasters. Okay, in your own words, what do you understand about natural disasters? It is the earth natural processes that destroys buildings, which lead to a loss of people's home and also for animals and plants. Okay, why do we need to learn about natural disasters? It is important because we need to feel empathy and make connection with those affected by disasters and understand the knowledge concerning disasters situation. Okay, other than that, we also learn about skimming and scanning. Okay, what is skimming? Skimming is a speed reading technique used whenever we need to get the entire text's main ideas. So, yes, we use skimming when we want to read something quickly to get a general idea. Okay, how about scanning? Scanning is another speed reading technique to be used when you want to find specific information quickly. So it is used when you want to read something quickly to find a specific piece of information. Okay, if we look at the pictures or illustration of a reading material, is it a skimming or scanning technique? It is a skimming technique. Okay, now that you already understand how to skim and scan a text, so you may use these two reading techniques when you read reading materials later. Okay students, I hope you learned something from today's lesson. Thank you for watching. See you guys next week. Bye bye.